Hey everyone, John Moran with Solutions A here, and today we're going to be covering a topic that we get quite often. It's actually a topic that we get quite often because of either new clients that we take over or new clients that are just starting, but have some questions about where traditional Google Ads and smart shopping don't really blend together. Now, the traditional route of running a shopping campaign is you can break them up by category, you can break it up by ad spend. If you have, an inventory size, you can break it up by return on ad spend. You can break it up by profitability, like your profit margins. There's many different ways that you can break up a standard shopping campaign. Now, a lot of times it's really good to break up a standard shopping campaign by those different types of, genres or categories or whatever you want to call them, because you can better optimize your feed, optimize your if you're running manual CPC, you can optimize your bids for products that have a higher profit margin in the same category. Negative keywords are really easy to manage if you have a group of products that are very similar, and you just know that those negative keywords should never, or those keywords should never show up in your search terms for any of those products. Now, smart shopping is sort of like the exact opposite of it. And while there's some caveats that smart shopping does take over from standard shopping, some things that you can transfer from your standard shopping mentality or strategy over to smart shopping, there's one thing that I think that most people make this mistake. And this mistake is most commonly made because without having a ton of experience in smart shopping, you do run the risk of assuming that it's going to be one way when it's actually the other. And what I mean by that is the topic that we're going to be talking about is, should we break up smart shopping campaigns? And while the answer generally is no, there is sometimes a good idea to break those out. And most often it's simply just because you need to have other products that are possibly less performing in terms of volume, like very low clicks or very low impressions, and you just need to push those items. That's usually the number one reason why we would break out a standard shop or smart shopping campaign into multiple smart shopping campaigns. But when we first take over an account or we're first launching an account, we usually combine our smart shopping campaigns into one campaign. And I wanted to kind of show you a visualization of why, because it's hard to kind of understand this metric unless you kind of dig through the data and understand the math behind it. And let me show you what I mean by that. Sorry, not sick. Just been talking a lot today. So the name of the company is going to be blurred out, but these are just some of the items, and there's a lot of items here. There's 705 different SKUs that we're marketing for this one smart shopping campaign. And you can tell that the smart shopping campaign has a bunch of random, no correlation between anything. Price is anywhere on just this one view from 670 down to 19 bucks. It's a multi-cooker, voice assistant ring, an Apple Watch, a sleep pillow, compression massager. It's everything under the sun. There's really no like two or three products that are of the same category. And that's by design. And I'm going to pull up a calculator here because I want to kind of share with you something that I think is interesting. Now, most agencies think that the ones I've seen, especially that run these campaigns separate, is that, okay, so there was, this one item here, it's $32 in cost. We had 20 conversions. And so they bought 20 of these. That seems about right. Seems logical. This is what got the click and that's got the conversion, so it must have sold. That's actually not true at all. This is simply the ad that was used to bring the person to the website, but that doesn't mean it was the ad, that doesn't mean that was a product that was sold. So this is just the ad. Think of it like ad copy. This is the ad bringing the person to the site. And then they possibly look at that and say, I don't really want that. I found something else, or I found 2 or 3 or 4 items that I wanted something else. And those are what I bought. So when I'm talking about the calculator, let's start off with a simple one. I'm gonna drop it to conversions from greatest to least so that I can isolate and show you a good example. Let's get down to like the ones and twos. Perfect. Okay. So let's find something here. Let's do Bloom Meltdown Acne Oil. Okay. So Bloom Meltdown Acne Oil, it's $28, right? So we have $28. And then we say there was one conversion. Awesome. So you multiply it by 1. Equals $28, right? No, 73. Well, how does that happen? Okay, so let's look at another one. You had this one here, Mood Tag Loss Prevention Kit, $99 item. Made one sale. It should be $99, right? No, $119. Okay. This one, Glow 24-hour rejuvenating eye cream, $99.99. Okay, what was the sale? $95. Okay, so you're looking and you're saying, okay, well, how does this $69 product here, this razor, have on sale? It's not $69, it's $100. Well, that's strange. Another one here, Fairy Creative Tony. I'm not even sure what this is, but it's $11 item. And this is a really good example. This is what I'm talking about. This is a very perfect example. This Fairy, I'm not sure what this thing is $11.99. And it had one sale. So you figure we make $11.99. No, 56. So what's happening here? What's happening here, I'm just going to use this as kind of like a ruler. What's happening here is this is the ad that was used to bring the person to the site. And even though it's a low priced item, they either did not buy this and bought multiples of something else, or they did not buy this and bought one thing of something else that was larger value or larger price, or they bought one of these and a few other things, or whatever. We don't really know, and not from this view at least. You can find this in analytics in e-commerce when you segment by Google CPC and then look at the actual order number, cross-reference it to the order number in Google Ads in the conversions when you're looking at the web pages to see what web page tracked what date and time and what price, and then cross-reference that with Google Analytics. It's a big pain. I'm not going to do it on this video, but there's a possible way to see this. But the story is, if you're saying, well, I want to exclude items. Well, why do you want to exclude items? Because I don't want to market an item for Woody and Toy Story Tony. I don't want to market a $15 item. If my cost per sale is, X amount of dollars, then I can't make any money. Like, let's just look at a really small example here. Let's see. Let's find a good one here. Okay, so OmniGuard mask, $40. You may say, I don't really want to market anything because my profit margins are only, 50%. It's probably going to cost me a lot of money to make, or a lot of money to sell. Well, $40. If you had 50% profit margins, you make $20 per sale. And you think, well, it's $11 cost, so you're running at $9. Well, that would be true. But $11 did not sell two of these $40 items. It sold something else for $170. So why would you exclude this in the first place? Kind of makes sense. What maximize conversion value, what the bidding strategy is doing is simply saying this is the entry point to your website. And if you have multiple SKUs, if you have multiple products, if you have multiple, anything, if you have more than like 10 SKUs, don't discount the ads that show a small amount of items like this one, $18. Well, man, if I have $5 cost per sale on $18, I'm losing money because of 33% profit margins. Well, but would you pay $5 to make $100 off two sales? Well, yeah, but they didn't buy that item. Exactly. This is simply the item that got a person to the site. And what is this doing? Well, it's a face cleanser. $18 in the face cleanser arena is fairly low price. You can get up to $20, $30, $40, $50, $100 for a face cleanser. But this low priced item is your good ranking ad to a lot of people who have a lot of interest in a lot of face cleaners to at least say, what do you have? And then they get to the site and say, wow, you have, for this client, at least everything under the sun. And so what's interesting about that is don't discount the lower priced items because you don't think that if you have to pay, now this would, $5 to make that sale, that you're basically spending $5 to make 18. No, you're spending $5 to make 100. So this is just something that I think is really important. And when you start to segment out these smart shopping campaigns, when you segment them too much and you add a return on ad spend goal like a target ROAS, or if you deliver one campaign at a slightly lower budget, another campaign at a higher budget, what you're essentially doing is saying, okay, campaigns don't share data with each other, even though they might enter in this campaign and buy from that buy from that product in that campaign when they're actually navigating through the site. You're splintering off the sharing capabilities that the campaign needs to know where that ad click came from and where that purchase came from so that it can properly attribute the return on or the conversion value back to the proper campaign so that you can scale quicker and meet those return on ad spend goals. Or if you have one campaign that's running at $200 a day and another campaign that's running at 20, well, if you have the other campaign that's running at 20 and they're starting to buy other products, and it's a pretty good campaign, but it's not even selling the products inside of there, it's selling the other products, and that campaign runs out of ad spend before it can start to remarket to those people that were interested in the other products, you're giving the campaign saying, hey, make us the entry point, but not enough money to remarket to them. So just shut off by the time it's ready to convert, or by the time the person's ready to buy. So we usually find that it's best to start or at least reconfigure campaigns that are, if it's a campaign that has multiple campaigns and they're all performing well, great, just keep adding ad spend, possibly remove or reduce the ROAS goal and just keep scaling. But if you have multiple smart shopping campaigns and they're not performing, what you want to do is put them back together. Remove the ROAS goal, add all of the products back in. Don't exclude half the ones because you just don't think they're going to sell or people maybe not be interested. It's not necessarily up to you. Let the data speak. Let the data tell you that $5 item that costs $2 a sale will bring you $100 for that one transaction. We don't know until we test, and we can't test until everything's together. The ROAS goal is removed, and you're kind of putting your best foot forward with the best chance you can get to have the most amount of ad spend for all products and all the remarketing in order to see what products are actually winning the most impressions and clicks, and then turning into the most sales, even if it's not that item. That's a very important lesson here. And a lot of people haven't really taken the time to look at, well, my price times how many conversions doesn't necessarily equal the conversion value. It's the price times that many conversions. A lot of times has a conversion value that's much higher. And if you were simply not to start with there, you're going to have reduced scalability, reduced performance, reduced return on ad spend, conversion value amount, and reduced return on ad spend ratio. So just food for thought. If you're wondering, should I start a smart shopping campaign and how can I get super ninja with this? Don't try to outsmart Google first. Get the data first. And that's something that I think that sometimes becomes a little bit of a pain point is, well, clients will ask, well, what kind of work are you doing? Well, it's not necessarily the work that we are doing. It's knowing that we can start in the right area at the right time and press as few buttons as quickly as possible to get the biggest result, and not, try to charge a monthly fee to press a bunch of wrong buttons and say we're working on it. We say that you pay for results, not for the workload. And I think that usually comes across pretty well. So please let me know if you like this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the fun stuff that YouTube gives us more reach for. And I appreciate it. Thanks so much.